Hello and welcome to How to Get Out of Debt Fast. In this series of videos, I am going to be sharing with you ideas, strategies, concepts, and insights that you will be able to use to get out of debt really fast. In many instances, you can be completely out of debt in 10 years or less, including your mortgage, without spending any extra money. And if you don't have any mortgage debt, you could literally be completely out of debt in as early as 12 months or sooner or later, depending on your situation. My name is Larry Adebesin, and since 1990, I have been in the financial services industry. And it's been my privilege and pleasure to be able to help a lot of my friends, family members, clients, and associates manage their finances and show them and help them with strategies that are designed to help them get completely out of debt. In this particular video, I am going to share with you my 3-step plan to get you out of debt, regardless of what the debt situation is. It could be student loans, it could be auto loans, it could be your mortgage, it could be consumer loans, it could be any other kind of loan. It really doesn't matter. The strategies that I'm going to share with you will work every single time. And by the way, let me just say this. In order for these strategies to really work, I am assuming that the debts you want to get rid of have an interest payment attached to them. If there is no interest payment, for example, that changes things. But the good news is the majority of people who have debt, they have interest payments that are attached to it. So this is going to work out perfectly well. So what are the 3 steps to getting completely out of debt? Well, the first step is, number 1, you have to discover what the problem is. You have to identify the problem. Why are you in debt? You know, William Shakespeare said, there is nothing good or bad, but thinking makes it so. When it comes to debt, you know, debt is neither good nor bad. It really actually depends on what side of the equation you are on. Because you see, what you're considering to be debt right now that you want to get rid of, the institution financing that particular debt is looking at it as a benefit to them. So it depends on what side of the equation you're in. And the whole idea behind the strategies I'm going to be sharing with you is, number 1, let's identify what the cause of debt is. What type of interest is involved. And our goal is to reduce the bad interest and increase the good interest. The bad interest is the interest that you pay out. The good interest is the interest that comes to you. So what we want to do is we want to reduce the bad interest and we want to increase the good interest. And there are several strategies that I'm going to be sharing with you that we use to do that. So step number 1 is identify the problem. And most of the time, by the way, the real problem is not what you think is the problem. And we'll get into more details with that. Step number 2, once you identify the problem, most of the time, once you identify the problem, the solution is not far-fetched. But you see, just having the solution alone doesn't solve the problem. And I'll give you a good example. A good example of that is this. If somebody were to say to you, hey, listen, friend, you need a haircut. So let's assume that you go to the mirror and you take a look at yourself and you agree with your friend, yes, I do need a haircut. So let's look at what you've done. You've identified the problem, you've identified the solution. But guess what? Your hair still isn't done. What needs to be done to get your hair done? Well, step number 3 is what needs to be done. And in step number 3, we deal with executing the solution that you've identified. So to summarize, step number 1, identify the problem. Step number 2, discover the solution. Step number 3, execute the plan. And once you follow those 3 steps, you will be out of debt a lot faster. I know everything I've shared with you so far is theory, but work with me. This is a series. And by the time we get through this series, you will be well equipped to get out of debt real fast. Again, I'll catch up with you in the next session. Thank you for listening.